Hi, everybody. I'm James, and welcome back to Storytime with James. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. All right. This one is called You Live, You Learn. Yes. Check this out. Look, when I grew up in a nice neighborhood at first, It was like around 71st and Dobson, 7109 South Dobson to be exact, okay? And this is the house right here. It was nice. It was a nice place to live. It was nice. We would go out and play and everything. And I was just a little kid then. I was like 8, 9, 7, maybe. But it was fun over there. But then when I got like at least like 9 years old, 9 or 10, well, I had to be like 12, 11, 12. We end up moving in the hood. Yes. We moved in the hood. We moved over to 48th and Champlain, the south side of Chicago. 48th and Champlain. So when we moved over there, it was totally different. It was totally different. Me and my little sister, who's a couple of years younger than me, you know, we would go to the store. And when we went to the store, we was coming back home. And then these guys came up to us. They were waiting on the corner. When we walked past, they start talking. But they were talking in slang. Keep in mind, I didn't come from that area, so I didn't know slang. I didn't know any slang language. So they said, "What's up? What's up, Goofy? What's up, Goofy?" And I said, looked up in the sky. I said, "Hi, my name's James." And they start laughing uncontrollably. Start laughing. I didn't know what was going on, but I started laughing too. So we continued to walk, and they start following us, and they were saying stuff. I can't remember what they were saying, but they were saying some slang stuff. They were talking slang, and they said, "Hey Goofy, hey Goofy," and they say, and I asked them, I said, "Why you call me Goofy? My name is James." And they said, "Well, you Goofy to us." And I was trying to think, what are they saying? What are they saying? So then one of them walked behind me, and the other ones were in front of me, and uh, one of them pushed me, and I said, "Hey, what you push me for? What you push me for?" Now I see why they thought I was a Goofy or a Mark or something like that, because I didn't know. So one of them pushed me, and then my sister started yelling. My little sister started yelling, and that brought my brotherly instincts in. So I started swinging. I was swinging like this, though. I didn't know how to swing, but I was swinging, doing like this, and one of them tripped me, and they kept tripping me. Every time I get up, they trip me, and I was fighting and fighting, and then one of them said, "Hey, hey, 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 stop, little man. All right, all right, all right, okay, okay, it's okay, little man." And I was mad, man, because my little sister was out there too, and man, I was trying to protect my little sister. So I was mad and stuff. I was huffing and puffing and stuff. They said, "It's all right, little man. You got heart. You got heart. Okay, okay, okay. Stop, stop. Okay, it's okay." He said, "Hey, could you meet us over at the park? Meet us over at Hales Francisca, which was a high school, I think it was, and they had a park over there." They said, "Meet us over in the park." So after that, me and my little sister went in the house. And I was kind of skeptical about going to the park, because they just jumped me. They just jumped me for nothing, and I didn't do nothing. So anyway, against my better judgment, which I didn't have any judgment then, I decided to go to the park to probably, play football or something, So I thought I had friends then. I thought I had friends, you know. But when I got to the park, it was like 20 guys out there. And, and I was looking, and I saw a couple of my friends that was around my age, But I had met some guys at school, So I saw them there, so I fell right in. I said, "Hey, what's up, man? What's happening?" And we were talking and stuff, and then they formed a circle around us. So they told us, "Hey, look, y'all gonna have to fight your way out of this, okay?" So I didn't know what was going on, so I was scared. I was really scared. I was really scared. So next thing you know, that was it. They started coming in on us, and we was trying to fight. My friends were down already, but I was standing up, you know, but they beat my head and everything like that. So it was messed up. So after they jumped me, then they start congratulating me. All right, little man, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. And I was like, I didn't know what was going on. Little to be known, I was being jumped into a game, okay? Which I'm not going to say the game, but you probably know the which game I'm talking about. If I was on the south side of Chicago, okay? 48th and Champlain. So around there. So after I got jumped in, see, look, at first, if I wouldn't have done that, if I wouldn't have got jumped in or nothing like that, it would have been hard on my family. My sister would constantly be harassed and stuff like that. My father, they would break in his car and stuff like that, or they would probably try to break in the house or and stuff like that. My brother would get jumped and victimized and stuff like that. So it was bad. And something would probably happen to me. They'd probably rob me and victimize me. So, I had to do it. I had to do it. So after that, they came around and congratulate me and stuff like that. And my friends too. The guys from my school, they they congratulated them too. Because they stood up for a while. But after they went down, they went down covered up. So after that, I was one of them. And they start calling me the gang name, you know. So after that, my parents, my sisters, my brother, nobody bothered them. Nobody. Matter of fact, if somebody came up to them and all I had to do was say something and then we would get them. Okay? Regardless who it is, you know. So after that, I started. You say so. Look, I went to the school I went to. I went to uh, Dusab. I mean, Diet. Walter H. Diet. I went to Walter H. Diet Middle School. And it was kind of bad. It wasn't that bad at the school, but the area was bad. Washington Park. It was bad over there. Where you could get jumped over there. So with me being jumped in, I had added protection. For when I go to the school. And it was bad, but I had protection. So then I started after I went to Diet, then I went to Du Sable High School, the high school. And things got bad then. that's when I was fighting a lot. I was fighting, and it was getting so bad that people would come and try to get us, then we would get them, then they would get us, then we get them, and then they would get one of us, then we would get one of them. So it was going back and forth like that till it got overbearing, and then I kind of dropped out of high school temporarily. This was when I was in my junior year. I dropped out, but then I decided to go back. Go back to school, get back in school. So I got back in, and I successfully graduated. But I had to get out of that school to graduate. So I got out of school and went to Kenwood Academy just to so I can graduate. So it's real. It was really bad, man. So I went to Kenwood Academy, and then I saw a different side because Kenwood Academy was like for preppy people, right? Like prep people. They would dance, and they like having fun. They didn't care about fighting and stuff like that. They wanted to have fun there. So I went there and I fell in there, and I looked totally out of place. I wore my hair long and wore baggy pants and big shirts and stuff like that. Just looking crazy. So then I cut my hair and stuff like that, and start trying to fit in with that school. Because I was out. I looked totally like an outcast. So I tried to fit in with the school. Then I got myself together, got some Izot shirts, polo shirts and jeans, faded jeans and stuff like that, penny loafers. That was the thing then, penny loafers with the, put your quarter in there instead of putting a penny in there. You put dimes and quarters and everything, in there. So after that, man, I started dancing and stuff, and that then I fit in with them, fit in, you know. Then I went back around there, but they still wanted me to participate in gang activity, you know, So, and I was trying to get out of that, trying not to be in that stuff, anymore. So after so long, me and those same guys that was in my classroom that got jumped in with me, we devised a plan to get out of the gang. So after that, we went to the region of the over that gang, and we told them we wanted to get out, but they said you have to get beat out, just like you came in. You have to go out the same way. But fortunately, we figured that we can pay out. So back then, it was like in the 80s. It was in the 80s and stuff like that. Back then, it wasn't that much money. It's about 1,000 something dollars, to pay out. So we got out that way. So after we paid, they told us they told us don't don't look for our help. Don't look for our help no more. Okay? Don't call us if you get in trouble with the other gang. Okay? With the ops. So we said okay. And we had a pact amongst us that with whatever it takes, that we were going to protect each other. So after that, we started partying. Partying. Then I met my daughter's mother, and then I straightened everything out. Then everything was straight. Then after that, I and we had two daughters, together. So man, it's look, you live, you learn. You learn something. By by going through these experiences and stuff like that, you learn how to be a man. Be a man. you know and you learn a lot by experience, but you can learn some stuff by hearing it, by people telling you stuff, but you really got to experience it to really get the gist of what's going on, so it gets much deeper than that, but that's as far as I'm going to tell you guys. That's how much time that I have, so but yeah, you live and you learn. All right, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like, and hit that bell notification. Hit that bell notification so that you know every time I drop another video. And share, share, share. Share my videos with your loved ones. Share them with your friends. Share them with your family. And even share them with your enemies.